Was there an ancient version of OnlyFans? Well, yeah. I mean, there was this concept within the ancient world that you had 25 different ways to say prostitute in Latin, but male virgin was, you can't really, in classical Latin, write male virgin. It's an awkward phrase because it was assumed that if you were a male, and particularly a Roman male, you would not be a virgin because you would have had access to sex with anyone at any time, whenever you wanted, with whoever you wanted. And so when Paul, in particular, but Jesus also kind of hinted this when he talks about marriage as well, but when Paul says that husbands need to submit to their wives and wives need to submit to their husbands, in that society, that would have been holding the male in the relationship to the standard that the female was expected to, but the male was never expected to. And that was countercultural. And that was seen as foolish, in that sexual promiscuity was the norm and was expected. I mean, brothels were everywhere in ancient Rome, and they weren't considered, seedy. You could find brothels archaeologically in relatively high Roman neighborhoods. And it's because that was what you were owed. And so when Jesus says, one man, one woman for all time, that's it. And if you don't like that, well, there isn't another option. You can become a eunuch for the kingdom. You can submit yourself to celibacy. Those are the options. That's countercultural in the day, in a world that is prolifically sexual and doesn't see sex as something that is sacred. Whereas Christianity says sex is sacred because bodies are sacred and image bearers are sacred. And there's a respect and an accountability. And so these concepts that we have in modern society about sex, I think they're confused because in one sense we want to say, like, OnlyFans, you can give your body to whoever you want. It doesn't matter. It's just bodies rubbing together. And at the exact same time, we also realize that rape is a terrible violation. Well, which is it? Is sex just something you can give away at any time? Or do you realize that this is something that holds a pretty significant intrinsic value? That when it's violated, it goes beyond the physical. I think that's where our society is confused. And that's where we need to speak into these situations and show that some of these things are actually sacred.